So, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act has brought a lot of attention to overtime and tax on tips. And we need to decipher all of it. Lisa Green Lewis, CPA and TurboTax expert, is here with us to help us do all that because it's confusing, Lisa. I think a lot of people think that now all of a sudden overtime and tips are free, and that's just not the case, right? So, let's just start from the beginning. Let's start with tax on tips. What do people need to know?
Well, yeah, you're right, Tracy. The first thing you need to know, it's really a deduction. So it's not like you're not being taxed at all. A deduction is your tax savings is based on your tax rate. So with the deduction for tips, you're able to deduct up to $25,000 in tips that you make. So if you're in a profession that earns qualified tips, like a waitress or a ride share driver, you would be able to deduct those tips up to $25,000. Now, it is also based on income. So if you make over $150,000 and you're single, or over $300,000 married filing jointly, then that deduction is phased out.
And tips need to be defined too, right? Because pooled tips are different from regular straight up tips, right? And then there's tips that are reported on your W-2 versus clearly the under the table tips, right? So all that needs to be worked through as well.
Right. Yes. Since this is the first year that this is implemented, your employer or payer, they're not required to identify the tips in separate areas. But that's one thing we have TurboTax is really focused on is that area in the program. It walks you through all the different scenarios and all the different ways that tips could be reported on, whether it's on your W-2 in, you know, different boxes. It walks you through how to figure that out, and what to input or what to give to your TurboTax expert if you have an expert do your taxes.
Right. So it's really important that right off the bat, report all your tips and then figure out what's deductible and what's not. But you really, I mean, in theory, it is all taxable income to start, right? And then
Yes.
we have to work through it. So who benefits the most from this new tax deduction tax on tips?
Anyone that's considered a qualified profession. I know the IRS, they did put out guidance and a list of qualified professions that earn tips. So definitely rideshare drivers were on there, people that like waitresses, anyone like that would be eligible.
Right, hairdressers, manicurists, things like that. They were all on the
Yes.
list too, I remember. Okay, so
Yes.
now, and the other big thing now is overtime. And I know people, like so many people, so many hard workers in our country, firefighters, police officers make overtime. What do these people now need to know? Because quite frankly, I think they deserve a break. What do they need to know about the new overtime tax or deduction on overtime?
The same as the tips, it is a deduction. It's not like you're not claiming that income at all, but the deduction for overtime, you're able to deduct up to $12,500. And that's if you're single. It's a little different. If you're married filing jointly, you could deduct up to $25,000 in overtime. And then that is also based on income. So if you earn over $150,000 and you're single, that deduction is phased out. If you're married filing jointly and earn over 300,000, that it's phased out as well.
Lisa, is overtime reported separately on your W-2?
So this year, since this is the first year, they didn't update W-2 forms to allow for tips or overtime. So it is going to be integrated into it could be integrated into your overall income, or it can show up in various boxes this year.
All right. So Lisa, this stuff is really confusing, and throw in the One Big Beautiful Bill Act. There's a lot going on. What should people do if they're just overwhelmed?
Yeah, if people don't want to do it themselves, they can hand their taxes over to our TurboTax full service experts, and they can fully do their taxes for them. And they can connect with a TurboTax full service expert either virtually, or they can come into our new stores that open up. And you can also get the same expert the next year once you've used our full service.
Yeah, and full disclosure, I have to admit, I have connected with your virtual team, and they've been quite really, really helpful. So, Lisa Green Lewis, thank you for sharing all that. This stuff is complicated. We have to take our time. We appreciate your insight.
Thank you for having me.